Hi all, in this module we are going to learn about the difference between traditional teaching and teaching 21st century learners. We will also know about an instruction design philosophy for the 21st century classroom and how we can integrate technology in it to positively impact learning. By the end of this lesson, we will also be able to create a lesson plan using backwards design approach and include tech components into your lesson plan successfully. When we think of a traditional classroom, we imagine a teacher who is the facilitator of the class. The only form of instruction is a face to face, where the teacher moderates and regulates the flow of information and knowledge to his students. Learning focuses on rote memorization of discrete facts. It revolves around using textbooks, pen, paper, pencil, and little access to support students' homework at home. Teachers have a hard time keeping students engaged in the classroom. The instruction refers to one size fits all approach. The whole system is very structured and organized, where learning is confined within the four walls of the classroom, and it is strictly time based. There is an approximate 1 hour time period for every subject where teachers need to cover as much content as possible within the time frame. However, as technology is rapidly developing, we see a paradigm shift in classrooms and traditional teaching methods. In order to prepare students to succeed in the 21st century, the age old traditional method of teaching needs to change as it has become obsolete now. 21st century skills are not building using rote memorization and standardized tests. Instead, they are taught most effectively through project based learning. Teachers use interactive media and blended learning methods to facilitate discussion in the classroom. There is a high student engagement and more teacher student interaction as the students work in smaller groups collaboratively with classmates and other students around the world. Students learn to reflect on their understanding of different content areas as well as they provide effective feedback on their peers' work and their own assessments. The new 21st century classroom focuses on active learning and research driven teaching strategies. Besides reading, writing, and maths, students can deeper knowledge or multiple other literacies such as media literacy, cyber literacy, financial literacy, and global competences. The teacher is merely a coach or facilitator in this 21st century classroom. Everything is very student centered, where learning is driven by students' exploration and creativity. So now we know all the characteristics of a 21st century classroom. In order to bring the changes and transform our traditional classroom, we have to integrate technology. Interactive demonstration boards, desktops, and mobile devices that has access to the internet using web-based application could all be used to launch your 21st century classroom. We can use these Web 2.0 tools to plan our lessons and teach students in a way so that they can gain mastery of knowledge over the different content areas. In traditional lesson planning, we begin with looking at what needs to be taught. We plan lessons, choose activities, and teach the materials and then give student assessments to complete. Unfortunately, many times we don't know if our students have mastered the content as they lack evidence to show that. Also, sometimes students do poorly on the test and cannot meet the lesson's learning goals. But for your 21st century classroom, you can follow the backward design instructional model to create your lesson plan. The basic philosophy here is design the lesson plan with your goals in mind and work backwards to provide your students the knowledge and skills they need to be successful. You have to choose and use the technology purposefully to address the goal you want them to achieve. You can set content driven goals such as their knowledge of the subject and also skill driven goals like their ability to use computers to collaborate. As a teacher, always remember to think about the necessary computer skills students will need to be successful. The role of a teacher in the backward design model in a 21st century classroom is like a facilitator or a coach. He intentionally facilitates authentic student thinking through inquiry based practices, such as project based learning and Socratic seminars, reciprocal teaching, differentiation of instruction, use of graphic organizers to represent thinking, and other reflective practices. As a coach, Teachers have to provide ongoing feedback and encouragement to the students to prompt them to self reflect so that the students assess themselves. Teachers also have to provide multiple opportunities for the students' independent practice to gain mastery of knowledge and achieve the 21st century skills throughout the entire process. When teachers plan their lesson plan with purposeful technology and the end goal in mind, and throughout the process, they scaffold the students to build their own projects and artifacts. Students get deeper insights on the content in comparison to traditional teaching methods.